You're listening to the Texas Strangers. Here's David Carson and Ryan Gano.
Dave, it's been a while.
Been a very long while. How you been doing, Ryan?
We've had some pretty interesting experiences, I think, since last time we recorded a podcast.
I don't even remember when it was. Is that horrible?
So you must remember the last time I didn't ever have had worked at Cumulus.
Yeah. Well, what happened was I thought I was doing my friend a good favor by getting him a job here at Cumulus Media, and obviously that was the worst decision in my life right then and there.
I don't know if it was the worst decision of your life. And to be fair, let's not make it sound like I just left on a bad note or something or stormed out and ruined your reputation, right?
No, not at all. Not one bit at all.
But it did stop us from doing this almost entirely, because if I wasn't working, Dave was working, and vice versa. And so actually what we wanted to do on radio, we were doing nothing of the sort.
Yeah, we were doing everything for Cumulus and nothing for ourselves.
But we're back.
We're back better than ever.
And we have a new friend.
Yes, we do. New friend. You want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Brad Watkins, excited to be here and ready to get rolling.
Well, Brad, tell me a little bit about yourself. Where are you from?
Grew up in Mesquite, Texas, little ways away from here.
But pretty close.
Pretty close. Graduated from good old Eastfield College last August, so mass communications major, and dream has always been to be on a sports talk radio show. So I'm kind of living out my dream here.
So now you're here on a podcast with the Texas Strangers. You got the older, robust one and the young millennial. We'll get two millennials.
I got
now.
the best of both worlds there.
And I think we can thank those titles. Apparently, I have purple hair. I think Brad and Dave can both attest that I do not have purple hair.
I can attest to that.
But that is Gavin Mitchell and our friends at Red Nation Rising and Gavin's show.
Yeah, last Saturday, Gavin just got a wild hair in himself, and he was like, hey, let's go ahead and cut a commercial. So within 5 minutes, we cut a commercial for the Texas Strangers. It's now playing. It's only playing in two slots. It's playing on KLIF at 8 p.m. and 9 p.m. I think 8:30 and 9:30 is the time they're supposed to play.
Yeah, but if you're joining us from Gavin's show, the Gavin Mitchell show, or Red Nation Rising, or
right.
I think Loretta's show runs the ad. Is that what you were saying?
Yeah, Loretta runs the ad also.
Which is Powers of Attorney on KLIF. If you came here from there, thank you so much for tuning in and giving us a shot. As you heard on the commercial, he is just kind of throwing us out under the bus, and we wanted to make sure we had new content for you guys if you came here from that.
Exactly. And Gavin's a great guy. He is just an easygoing type guy. I do a lot of work with him. And believe it or not, Red Nation Rising and all that kind of stuff, the conservative radio talk, political talk, that's what pays the bills for me. This is my love and joy of what I like to do. And
if you really want to have fun, just go to Gavin's Twitter, maybe call into the show for him, and just talk about how much you love Barack Obama and why. He will really enjoy that.
Or Hillary Clinton, or anybody like that.
Or both, because I think in his mind they're the same person.
So much, yeah.
Okay, so what's on the plate today, Dave? Now that we've kind of caught everyone up on what we're up to, what are some of the things we're going to talk to?
All right, hey, Brad, why don't you go ahead and hit cut number 1 for me, please.
Quarterback for the Cowboys, Greg Zuerlein. Greg the Leg will kick off for the Rams. And football is back in Los Angeles for the first time since 1994. Lucky Whitehead dodged some traffic around the 10, and now he's in the clear. Goodbye. The return to Los Angeles, not so lucky for the Rams. Whitehead goes the distance.
All right, so not so lucky for the Los Angeles Rams. First play of the game, 100-something yards.
And I would like to mention that Lucky Whitehead does come from Florida Atlantic, which is a Conference USA team.
You know what? And I was going to put that in there also, but I left
Trivia note of the day there.
Actually,
there you go.
They might be. Are they still Sunbelt? They didn't move with us, did they?
Florida Atlantic. Yeah, I think they are still. No. Florida.
I'm going to double check. I think they are still
I think we need
Sunbelt.
to put the
the
theme
little
music
Jeopardy
to that one right
music
there.
in
Yeah.
there. Florida.
No, I think they are Sunbelt. They didn't come back over.
Yeah, I don't think they warrant moving up. Like us great 1-in-11ers at North Texas. We are too good for the Florida Atlantics of the world. They are Conference USA. I was incorrect.
Okay. Hey, you know what? That's what.
Actually, I was correct the first time and then doubted myself. Really,
Never
is the
doubt
problem
yourself.
here.
Always first instinct. There you
Okay.
go, right there.
So as we're going along, they're back in the Coliseum, the Los Angeles Rams.
Right. L.A., baby.
L.A. Now, Brad, go ahead and get ready. There's a fight night cut on there. What we're gonna see, or we're gonna hear it. Excuse me, but I went to Deadspin.com.
Okay.
And go ahead and hit that, Brad, when you have a chance. Just go ahead and pot it down just a little bit, and we can talk over it. Near the top of the Los Angeles Coliseum, some Rams fans and some Dallas Cowboy fans decided to really inaugurate the Coliseum back into the NFL. Now, what you're hearing is this Los Angeles Ram fan went up and shoved a Dallas Cowboy fan, and two Dallas Cowboy fans put a working over on this boy. So while all this is going on, Jared Goff's down on the field. And guess what happens to Jared? Anybody know what happened to Jared Goff that day during that game?
Injuries.
Same thing that happened to Carson Wentz.
Exactly. Go ahead and pop that down just a little bit. So, first off, I don't understand why you would go to an NFL game, sitting near the top of the stadium and get in a fight.
Well, first let's talk about how that kick return is just a giant bit of karma for them leaving St. Louis in the lurch. You know, the
Right.
Rams just picked up and moved another.
Well, they did the same thing they did the same thing when they left L.A. They just picked up and moved. Then they did the same thing when they left St. Louis back to L.A.
Right, and all it is the ownership group or
It's a
the
money
owner wanting more money and basically trying to leverage one city against the other to see who's going to give them more money, and whichever one is, they stay there.
I think they went from a better stadium to a worse stadium.
Are you talking about the Los Angeles Stadium now is worse?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because it's dated. It's one of the Olympic stadiums,
1984.
right? Yeah, the 1984 Olympic stadiums. I mean, you look across the bay and you have San Francisco and their brand new state-of-the-art stadium.
Well, we can't look across the other part of the bay and say the Oakland Coliseum is any better. So
True.
or what the San Diego plays in.
Apparently, the Oakland-style fan has moved into California pretty heavily into Los Angeles because of the type of fighting at the top.
Right, exactly. Well, you know, the Dallas Cowboy brand, it's a strong brand. And no matter wherever that team goes, they're always going to have Cowboy fans in the stands representing pretty hard. And that's just certain teams do that. You know, the Patriots have that. The Packers have that. The Pittsburgh Steelers have that. Wherever you go, you're always going to see one of those fans.
Yeah, but I mean,
Maybe even the Steelers might not be playing in the game, but someone's going to be wearing a Pittsburgh Steelers shirt in the stadium.
that is my father, actually. My dad is a diehard Steelers fan, but he was born and raised in Pennsylvania, so he comes by it honestly.
Okay. All right. So you're the Los Angeles Rams, and you're the Philadelphia Eagles. You made a humongous trade. You traded your future to put it on one player. And both of these guys, the Rams took Jared Goff, and the Eagles took Carson Wentz.
Trade up twice to take Wentz.
Exactly. So, Ryan and Brad, I'm going to ask you a question. When you guys were learning how to drive, did your dad have like a $100,000 car and let you practice driving on?
No, not at all.
I'm sure Ryan did.
No, my first car I think cost a grand whopping $3,000.
Okay, mine was $1,000.
Mine
Also,
was a beat up Jeep in Sulphur Springs driving down a dirt road that if you didn't drive right, you were going to be in the ditch, and there was no way getting back. So I had to learn, by feast or fire, how to drive.
Okay.
Well, let's also not forget, Dave, that inflation does change the value in your first car and our first cars. So that $1,000 might have really been like a $5,000-$6,000 car.
I'm trying. I remember it was an Oldsmobile Omega, and I think it was a.
Do they make that anymore?
I was just about
no.
to say that.
And I always joke about this car. I always say it's turd brown because that's what color it was. I mean, it was a chick magnet. Everybody was saying, "Oh, David Carson, come pick me up in that car."
I mean, magnets do attract and repel, correct?
Well, it was more of a repelling, so it was a north-on-north type thing. So, anyway, what I'm getting to with that analogy, you have this brand new car. You got two brand new cars. and you put it out there with your teenage driver, and the driver's in this analogy is your offensive line.
So I understand what you're saying, but again, just like Carson Wentz is trying to learn his role, you got to do the same thing with your line.
Okay, did you watch the game with the Eagles and Tampa Bay?
Didn't see the Wentz hit. Is the Goff hit where he got hurt where Akune hit him?
I believe so, yes.
Okay, so a little North Texas pride here. Got to throw that in. Derek Akune, shout out for the hit on Goff. Great play. Hope you make the roster. But I know what you're saying. It's like, what are their contracts valued at, Dave? Do you know? Do you know what Jared Goff is slated to make?
We can look it up real quick, but no, not offhand.
Okay, but I mean, he was a first round pick. So he had to make some pretty good change here, right? Like you said, it's an investment. Not only is he valued because of what they're going to pay him, he's also valued because of the picks that they traded.
Right. Now, hey, Brad, over there we have Carson Wentz getting this is the shot that was fracturing of the ribs. Go ahead and play that for me, Brad.
They come, bang. Oh, did he take a hit?
This time he's slow to get up.
He took a big hit, unblocked defender. Watch off the edge. They're going to release the running back. So I don't know if the running back, I mean, that's just a free release who he's throwing it to. I don't think Vaitai is supposed to kick out. I'd have to see that on tape and know what the protection was to know if they should have, whether that offensive line was supposed to fan. But either way, it doesn't matter. It's a free runner, and Micah Awe, number 44, takes advantage of it.
My goodness.
My goodness. That's the best thing you can come up with your second pick of the draft, first pick. My goodness. I don't understand that.
He's going to get hit, right?
He's going to get hit.
It's inevitable.
Exactly. And
you don't know that these first couple of lickings he takes in spring training are going to be an injury. I mean, these are scrimmages effectively.
It's a violent game. It's a very violent game. Anything can happen. You can break your leg coming out the tunnel. It's been done. We've talked about it. We've heard about it. We've read about it. It's happened. But I don't understand if you're gonna make that huge investment with both the Rams and the Eagles, why would you put them behind a third or fourth string line?
But if you look at the state of the Rams and Eagles and their offensive lines,
exactly,
how much different is it than your you don't know that your third string is that much worse than your first string, right? I mean, I guess you've gotten some reps at spring camp. And as they're starting to ramp up here, they're getting more and more looks at these guys. But again, they have holes on these lines they're trying to fill on their first string. And some of these guys are hoping to end up be starters. And they very well may be on teams like this. It's not like they're in the same shape as the Cowboys, where it's just like a solid wall. I understand if you're the Cowboys and you put Tony Romo back there, he's already glass. You're not going to put him behind, the second or third string line.
Exactly.
But these are still, there's still a chance that who's the other starter for the Eagles?
Sam Bradford.
Sam Bradford there's still a good chance he'll start. And I mean now it's guaranteed, right?
Yeah,
but there was still a chance that Carson Wentz was playing backup.
They also did give Chase Daniel big money in the offseason too. But
former South Lake Carroll Chase Daniel.
Yeah.
But I mean I can understand that they just kind of have to. He needs more reps than they can give him, and then they need to give the first string line. So do you risk an injury for a proven lineman?
Yes.
Yes,
you do. I think so.
See, and I don't know, because to me, the argument people make with the Cowboys, right, when you look at their running back situations, it doesn't matter who we put back there, because the line's going to move whoever's in the way.
Which that myth was busted last year.
To some degree.
McFadden was fourth in the NFL in rushing last year. I mean, didn't even start all 16 games.
Right. But it wasn't the impressive rushing that we saw the year prior.
Well, right. And again, to me, one of the biggest Cowboys problems is that Romo falls apart, and then there's only the run game, and then you're going to get stopped no matter what because there's 8 in the box, and we dare you to throw it.
They're going to load the box.
Who are